Hey fellow stock guardians, happy Friday, July 23rd, 2021. I'm Hoda, a stock card CEO, reporting to you from a green stock market. I looked at the market indices that ended the week strong and discussed how the Olympics boosted Roku's stock to nearly its all-time high and revisited two stocks we've covered in the past, TAL and New Oriental Education, after new developments with Chinese regulation that affected them greatly. Let's get into it. Stock market indices finished the week in the green. The 10-year Treasury yield rose slightly, showing signs that inflation concerns are more short-term. This eases some of the tensions from the yield dropping days ago. Moreover, this earnings season has been an optimistic one. Investors are pleased with the recent performance of the stocks, especially in the S&P 500, where 90% of companies are reporting a positive surprise in revenue year over year this quarter. Before we get to the stock analysis section, let me give a shout out to all of you stock guardians. Thank you for watching, reading, and listening to the daily market recap reports every day. A stock card platform is your stock market research, digital assistant and tool. I'd like to invite you to try it if you haven't already. First, hit the like button and subscribe to the show, and then create a free account on stockcard.io. Thank you for becoming a new stock guardian. Roku, ticker ROKU, ended the week with a bang, coming just shy of its all-time high with more than a 12% jump today. This jump earned it a spot on the stock card's list of winning stocks for the day. The opening ceremony of the Olympics was held earlier in the day and kickstarted an excellent trading session for the streaming service company. Roku landed the right deal at the right time and agreed with NBC Universal to be the home of the network's Olympic coverage. Viewer count is bound to grow throughout the two-week event, but it's not all about Olympics. Roku has been hot this year already. This year's first quarter earnings report boosted a 35% growth in accounts registered on the streaming service, and that's not to mention a 101% growth in revenue from the platforms year over year. Roku is doing great, even as shutdowns are phased out and people return to events outside their homes. If you head to its stock card, you can see that it is killing the game in profitability, sales growth, and cash availability. Scrolling down a little further, you can see that investors had great return over the past 5 years compared to the S&P 500. Roku was once an underdog that no one believed had a fighting chance in the streaming war, and now it is leading the market. If you invest in a well-managed company and ignore the volatility, you'll find a more dependable way to grow your investment. Lesson from investing in Roku. If you remember, we covered TAL Education Group, ticker TAL, and New Oriental Education and Technology Group, ticker EDU, in a daily recap a little over a month ago. Chinese regulators were beginning to reassess the tutoring and private education industry, and the future of these companies was suddenly up in the air. I've recommended that you stay away from the dip in that episode, as attractive as it looked. Throughout the rest of June, both TAL and EDU regained some grounds. Naturally, some fellow stock guardians were asking questions. How come they went up? Fast forward today, both TAL and New Oriental Education stocks took a nosedive. On today's loser list on the stock card, TAL was down over 70% by the close, and EDU followed closely behind with a 54% drop. Sources informed Bloomberg that Chinese regulators are considering turning million-dollar tutoring businesses into nonprofits and banning them from being publicly listed, among other possible legislative changes. This is an example of how you should approach companies that are dealing with regulation changes. The stock may have seemed like an excellent opportunity to enter at a low price and may have even shown some growth, Still, the regulatory changes are entirely out of the control of investors and even the company themselves. You want to avoid betting on such uncertain situations. There is no guarantee that the government cares for the profitability of any given company, no matter how much analysis you've been doing on the fundamental or technical aspect of the stock. For now, even if I lose a chance for significant gain, I don't think the uncertainty is worth the potential upside. To me, once again, this is not a buy the dip opportunity. To wrap up today, let's talk about one of the portfolios on a StockCard's stock pick page. This week, Alex Ko, a StockCard partner and the YouTuber behind Family Investment YouTube channel, and of course, the next 10x stock portfolio on the stock picks page, updated his portfolio and added his next 10x stock pick. He also published a video talking about his stock analysis. I'll leave a link in the show notes for you to watch. Make sure to stop by at his portfolio on the stock picks page. That's it for today. If you haven't already done so, please give StockCard a try. Research as many stocks and ETFs as you want, and consider following a few successful investors by visiting the stock picks page on the StockCard platform. Don't forget to sign up for a 14-day free trial with promo code ROLLWITHOURCEO, all lowercase and in one word. And like, subscribe, and share these daily market recap reports with your friends and fellow investors. Come back next week for another market recap report episode. See you then.